What's up everyone, and welcome back to the MMA Buzz. Petr Yan and Merab Dvalishvili have been trading jabs on social media following their recent fight, where Yan secured a unanimous decision victory. Soon after the bout, Yan posted a photoshopped image of himself relaxing in a jacuzzi, surrounded by women, with Merab humorously edited in as a server handing out drinks. His caption read, "Relaxing after the fight." Merab quickly fired back with his own playful response, a similar jacuzzi photo, this time showing himself in the center with women around him, while Yan appeared in the background doing landscaping work. Merab captioned it with a teasing question, "What's gonna happen in 2026? Yan responded by saying, "In 2026, my friend, you need a wife and kids." Merab replied lightheartedly, "I'm looking, my friend." Shortly after the exchange, Merab issued a heartfelt statement addressing his loss. He thanked his family, friends, fans, teammates, and his country for their overwhelming support. He emphasized that regardless of winning or losing, their loyalty means everything to him. Merab apologized for the disappointment of the defeat, but promised to return stronger, saying he is determined to reclaim what he believes is his. He assured everyone he is fine, mentioning he only needed a few stitches and requested patience while he works through the many messages he received. Merab acknowledged that Saturday simply wasn't his night and gave full credit to Yan for being the better man inside the cage. He congratulated Yan and his team on the victory but warned them not to get too comfortable, expressing his desire for a rematch as soon as possible. Yan later replied to Merab's statement with, "Quick recovery. See you." Merab closed the exchange respectfully, answering, "Thanks, champ." Before we jump into the next story, we have a small favor to ask. If you're enjoying the content, please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell icon. It really helps us out and ensures you'll never miss an update. Move on to another news. Henry Cejudo has opened up about his loss to Peyton Talbot and has officially announced his retirement from MMA. In a reflective message posted on X, Cejudo shared his thoughts on the outcome and expressed deep gratitude for his journey inside the octagon. He began by acknowledging that the fight didn't unfold the way he had imagined. However, he noted that the ending wasn't entirely disappointing. He mentioned that the streets are saying, "I went out in a blaze of glory," and after reviewing the final 10 seconds of the bout, he agreed. Cejudo said he gave everything he had in the cage and leaves with no regrets about his effort. Cejudo expressed heartfelt appreciation to the UFC for providing the platform that allowed him to extend his competitive career beyond wrestling. He stated that he accomplished every goal he set from the moment he first stepped into the cage wearing his iconic gold shorts. He went on to thank his coaches, teammates, management team, and everyone who played a role in his MMA career. But he reserved his deepest gratitude for his family, emphasizing that they were the driving force behind his success. He made it clear that he never competed for money. Instead, he fought for the people who supported and believed in him from the beginning. As he closes this chapter, Cejudo stated that he is ready to move forward, signing off with his classic line, "Triple C is out." His announcement marks the end of an accomplished and impactful career, leaving behind a legacy as one of the most decorated combat athletes of all time. Move on to another news. Sean O'Malley has taken aim at Merab Dvalishvili's coach, John Wood, who has been facing heavy criticism since UFC 323 for telling Merab he was ahead 3 rounds against Petr Yan. Appearing on the Ariel Helwani show, Wood was asked to clarify why he gave that advice. Helwani noted that, based on the broadcast, he personally scored the fight 50-45 for Yan, or at best 49-46, and wondered whether Wood's corner perspective may have influenced his assessment. Wood explained that from inside the corner, he believed Merab was the busier fighter, applying pressure and pushing the pace. However, after rewatching the fight, he acknowledged that Yan had the more significant moments, landing the heavier shots and earning the stronger reactions. He admitted that visible damage such as bleeding can impact the perception of who is winning, and that many people felt his assessment in the corner was incorrect. Reflecting on the situation, Wood said that in real time the team genuinely believed they were winning the early rounds, though the third round felt close. He conceded that rounds 4 and 5 clearly favored Yan. Wood stated he intends to review the fight again and learn from the experience, emphasizing the importance of remaining objective despite the emotional intensity of a live contest. He described the situation as a heat-of-the-moment judgment that didn't hold up under later scrutiny. Sean O'Malley reacted sharply to Wood's explanation, comparing it to advice he once received from his own coach, Tim Welch. O'Malley joked that Welch once told him his opponent was faster than him, and he still considered that better advice than telling a fighter they're up 3 rounds. O'Malley emphasized that even blunt honesty serves a fighter better than giving them a false sense of security during a competitive fight. He concluded by noting that being in the corner can distort perception, and while coaches may believe they're protecting or motivating their fighter, unclear or inaccurate advice can significantly impact performance. Move on to another news. A new angle has surfaced from the altercation between Joanna and Jamahal, shedding more clarity on what actually happened during their tense exchange at a recent very important person event. The individual who recorded the viral clip came forward on Instagram, offering his first-hand account and addressing the rumors circulating online. According to him, the situation has been exaggerated, and despite heated words, nothing physical occurred. He explained that he felt compelled to speak up because the speculation had gotten out of control. He confirmed that he was the one who filmed the initial video showing the confrontation. At the start, he says the interaction was calm and even cordial. Joanna and Jamahal were standing only a few feet apart, speaking quietly enough that no one nearby could hear the conversation. The tension slowly escalated. Voices began to raise, but he stressed that the short clip circulating online captures most of the significant moments. He clarified the concrete facts. At one point, he heard Joanna say something along the lines of "keep your girl away from me," though he couldn't recall the exact wording. What followed was the moment caught on camera where Jamahal appeared to threaten her, something the witness agreed was not a good look for him. However, in his opinion, Joanna was the one pressing forward and acting as the aggressor in the exchange. He emphasized that no physical contact took place at any moment. He debunked claims that someone was pushed or that security dragged Joanna away. Instead, staff members calmly stepped in once the voices got loud, separated the two, and escorted Joanna out professionally. There was no dragging, no restraining, and no chaotic scene, as some online reactions suggested. He also shared a second angle of footage from about a minute before the confrontation. The clip, taken from his Meta Glasses archive, shows a normal atmosphere leading up to the argument. In his caption, he noted that it adds zero context, but he posted it anyway for transparency. This new eyewitness account helps clear up many exaggerated rumors surrounding the incident, reinforcing that while the moment was tense and emotional, it never turned physical. Move on to another news. Jamahal recently spoke about his tense post-fight altercation with Ian Gary following UFC Qatar, offering his perspective on what happened and how he views Gary as a fighter. Jamahal initially didn't want to revisit the incident, saying it had already passed and wasn't worth reigniting. But once the topic was brought up, he addressed it directly. When asked about Gary, Jamahal questioned why people keep giving Gary more attention than he deserves. He implied that Gary is intentionally trying to create hype by provoking bigger names. According to Jamahal, Gary desperately wants to emulate Conor McGregor both in personality and in the way he generates media buzz. Jamahal said that by even acknowledging him, fighters like himself unintentionally help elevate Gary's name. Despite dismissing Gary's antics, Jamahal clarified that he doesn't dislike him. He referred to him casually as brother and acknowledged that Gary is a talented and rising competitor. Still, he made it clear that the attempts to provoke him are obvious, and Gary's behavior feels like a deliberate effort to chase spotlight moments rather than focus purely on fighting. Jamahal also joked about Gary being like cappuccino, a playful metaphor, suggesting that Gary wants to mimic his style or flavor. He laughed while explaining that sometimes newcomers try to be like established stars, but it never tastes the same. In his view, Gary is attempting to copy the formula of famous fighters without having truly earned it yet. Even so, Jamahal admitted that a fight with Gary would be sweet, especially considering the level of attention it would draw. He added that facing either Ian Gary or Alex Pereira would be enjoyable for him, showing he's open to any big challenge. Ultimately, Jamahal downplayed the altercation, suggesting it was more noise than substance, but he didn't rule out the idea of settling things inside the octagon if the opportunity arises. Move on to another news. Following his impressive win over Henry Cejudo at UFC 323, Peyton Talbot made it clear that his focus isn't solely on chasing the bantamweight title. Speaking with MMA Junkie, Talbot shared that his true motivation is taking on the toughest matchups and delivering exciting, high-level fights for the fans. For him, climbing the rankings is a natural outcome, not the obsession. Reflecting on his performance, Talbot said he felt proud of how he handled the moment. Securing 2 takedowns against an Olympic gold medalist was something he considered a major achievement. Wrestling has always been Cejudo's foundation, and beating him in that area felt surreal for the rising contender. He jokingly referred to the moment as putting down Old Yeller, acknowledging the bittersweet nature of retiring a legend of the sport. Talbot also recognizes the significance of the victory. With a win of that magnitude, he believes he will now have a number next to his name in the rankings, something he expected and openly aimed for. He explained that reaching the top 10 has always been one of his primary goals. Competing among the best is where he feels he belongs, and swimming with the sharks, as he put it, is exactly the challenge he has been seeking. Despite the career-changing win, Talbot remained calm throughout fight week. He felt a sense of peace, knowing that if he simply executed his game plan, everything else would fall into place. That confidence carried into the octagon, where he delivered a strong, composed performance against one of the sport's greatest athletes. Interestingly, Talbot emphasized that the championship belt isn't his biggest priority right now. Instead, he wants to create memorable, action-packed fights that test him against the elite of the division. He believes the title will eventually come in its own time. But for the moment, he's more interested in putting on banger fights against the toughest opponents available. Talbot, the journey, the matchups, and the challenge of continually proving himself matter more than any single accolade. Move on to another news. Joanna Jedrzejczyk and Jamahal Hill have both addressed the altercation that took place inside the very important person lounge at UFC 323. The incident became a major topic online after footage surfaced showing Hill warning Joanna that he would knock her out if she touched his partner. In response to the wave of speculation, Joanna released a public statement to clarify her position and express her concerns. She began by acknowledging how hard she has worked throughout her career to build her reputation and how disappointing it is to be associated with such a situation. She explained that when someone uses her name falsely or attaches accusations to her that have no basis in truth, she will always stand up for herself. While she regrets being in this position, she stressed that defending her integrity should never lead to being threatened. Joanna went on to highlight that she is fully aware of her strength and capabilities not just as a former world champion, but as a woman with years of self-defense training. She emphasized that she has a platform and resources that many women do not have, which makes her even more empathetic toward those who face disrespect or intimidation but lack the means to protect themselves or speak up. She expressed concern for women who endure threats in silence and called attention to the importance of standing up for truth and dignity. She noted that society should expect better behavior, especially from public figures and professional athletes who represent both the sport and the community. Joanna thanked the UFC security team and staff for their professionalism and quick response during the incident, acknowledging their role in preventing the situation from escalating. She concluded her statement by saying she considers the matter closed and expressed her desire to move forward peacefully. Joanna wished everyone a happy and healthy holiday season, hoping to put the controversy behind her and return focus to positivity, respect, and personal responsibility. Move on to another news. Jamahal Hill released a video on his YouTube channel explaining his perspective on the altercation with Joanna Jedrzejczyk at UFC 323, clarifying that his girlfriend was not even present at the event. According to Hill, the issue stems from an encounter a few years ago in New York when he attempted to shoot his shot with Joanna during a night out. He says the interaction was harmless, but her manager has since used it to stir tension. Hill explains that when he entered the very important person lounge at UFC 323, he greeted everyone politely, including Joanna. After she repeatedly asked where his girlfriend was, Hill sensed a shift in her tone. He claims Joanna began making comments about him being a player, saying she was from Poland and real gangsters don't play like that. Confused, Hill asked her what had upset her, but says her responses were incoherent and escalated quickly. According to Hill, Joanna became aggressive, claimed she didn't need to articulate anything, and repeatedly invoked being from Poland as a justification for her behavior. He says she began threatening both him and his girlfriend, saying she should have smashed his girl's head in. Hill insists he never raised his voice or threatened her, only asked what the issue was. When UFC staff intervened and moved her away, Joanna allegedly continued yelling threats. Hill states that his comment, "If you touch my girl, I will knock you out," was a direct response to her repeated threats. Hill then provided context. Years ago, in New York, while drunk, he openly admitted he tried to pursue Joanna. They exchanged messages, met briefly, and, according to him, the interaction ended without conflict. He claims her manager later tried to insinuate to Hill's girlfriend that something more had happened, even though he had already told his girlfriend the truth. Hill shared screenshots of their past messages to support his claim that the New York incident ended respectfully. He says he greeted Joanna at UFC 323 with the same respectful tone, only for her to flip without explanation. Hill concludes that he still doesn't know why she is upset and welcomes clarification. Joanna later responded on X, accusing Hill of lying and saying it was a shame he didn't have a camera on. A user suggested Joanna was upset because Hill moved on and found a girlfriend, to which she replied, "I would never," followed by laughing emojis.